Whenever there's an argument between your heart and your mind, follow your heart. There are things that the heart can understand and feel that the mind cannot relate to. There are things that you feel, that you know in your heart of hearts, that's not logical, it's not practical, it's not realistic, but there's something in you that says, I can do this. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. People that are hungry are uncommon people. Are hungry, have a vision of themselves when they leave here, leaving a legacy and not liabilities.
How do you get to that next level? You must learn to dominate. You cannot compete. Domination, not competition. Anybody can do this, folks. Anybody can do this. This is not about a college degree. This is about massive amounts of action. Whatever you think you're worth, if you're not sure of your own value, your own goals, and what you want, the world will never reward you of what you want, your value, and your goals.
People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry refuse to give up. I'm willing to make this happen. No excuse is acceptable. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can do it. If anybody's ever done it at any point in time in history, then what's possible for one is possible for me, and I'm going to do it. It's my time. It's possible. It's necessary. It's me. It's hard. It's worth it. I don't know what you want to do. Seemed like yesterday when I was the new kid on the block. Now at 68, I'm the old timer. My mother, I remember the first home I bought her in. This home she saw. She didn't know I had planned to get that home for her. I purchased the home and I said, Mama, I think I know the people who live there. You do? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I'm going to stop in and say hello. And I drove there and I opened the door. And she got out, and Mama at that time, around 76, she held my arm and we were walking toward the house. And we got to the door. And I couldn't hold it anymore. I reached in my pocket, I took the key out and I put it in the door. This is your home. Mama, I bought this for you. I pushed the door open. She stuck her head in the door. She said, anybody home? I said, no, Mama. Nobody's here. This is yours. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, with the help of God, you'll get it.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, all. You're welcome to today's currency outlook with Great White FX. As always, before we start, I would appreciate if we all took our time to go through this. There's a disclaimer here. And if you can hear me clearly and see my chart, can you please type in yes? If you can hear me clearly and see my chart, can you please type in yes? Everybody is on mute. Nobody can unmute themselves. So if you can hear me clearly and see my chart, can you just type in yes, please? Okay. So I will advise if you all take your time to go through this, and also these are my social media excuse me, handles. Is my Facebook handles. This is my Twitter handle, my Instagram page, my Telegram handle, my phone number, and my YouTube page. These videos will be posted in the YouTube page. The charts can be found, if you're not on the Telegram group, the charts can be found on the Instagram page. But there's always a link from Twitter to find the link on the Instagram page. So you, from the Instagram page as well, you can also get the link to the YouTube channel to watch the video explaining the charts. So, and also, we'll also be having, registration is ongoing for the next class of the online masterclass. It's a 6-week program. It would help you understand a lot of what I will be teaching today, and it will enable you also be able to do it. Maybe if you're an advanced trader or a struggling trader, this course would really do you well. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me on any of these handles. So that aside, let's start with what we have, our business for today. So as always, we always start off with the Forex Factory, so that we have an idea of scheduled news and news release for the week. It gives us an idea of the news expected for the week so that we stay ahead and we don't trade during those periods. So on Monday, we have high impact GBP news from 9:30. But the most important news next week is the ECB monetary policy statement and main refinancing rate. This is important because this moves the EURGBP, and the EURGBP affects the GBP pairs. So you need to be aware of this. This is on Thursday. The party starts by 12:45, and the major after party starts by 1:30 p.m. This will not cause as much fireworks as that by 1:30. Any press conference always carries fireworks because questions will be asked and answers will be given to the question. So the market always weighs that. You need to pay attention to that. So, as always, we're starting with the dollar index. As always, we start with the dollar index. It's our main go-to, because the dollar index measures the dollar strength against a host of other currency pairs. I think there are 5 or 7. But the EURGBP, the EURUSD is the highest in the basket, has a highest percentage because it has more countries using the euro than the other currencies. So if we look at the dollar index from a daily point of view, you can see that it closed bearish. If we go to the weekly, let's see how the week closed. We could say this is a bearish dark cloud. It's a bearish dark cloud. So what do we do with this on intraday? We'll go to the intraday chart. Where the euro dollar index is sitting above now is a kind of support structure. As long as this support structure holds, you would see a bounce. And should this trend line be taken out, then that means you're most likely going to see continued dollar strength. What would that mean? You might see a correction into the body of this prior bearish candle. So we need to keep that in mind. So this is what we're looking at. If price does not go below this level, then you might see price take out this trend line. But if you see something like this, then you expect dollar weakness. So that is the game plan on the dollar index for next week. So you just wait and see what happens in this zone. So the next part we're looking at is gold. Looking at gold from the daily point of view, this is bearish. 2 weeks to the high, bearish engulfing with the wick to the high. So how do we play that on the intraday? It's very simple. The best bet given this type of formation is to wait for the pullback, because 2 things may happen. Price may drop. It's sitting above a support zone. So there's a possibility price may break through it, and there's a possibility it may bounce price back. As you can see, the 1.151969 area has been giving price problem. So if price gets back to here and gets rejected, then you may see price go back down. So in this case, you have three scenarios. Either price takes out this zone, or it drops to it, bounces up, gets rejected from here, goes back down, or it breaks back above it. As a trader, you must not have a one bias view. You must keep an open mindset. It will keep you from having tunnel vision and from taking trades that might be detrimental to you. So the next pair we'll be looking at is USDCHF. So looking at the USDCHF from a daily point of view, weekly, you could say this is bearish, but it has bullish undertone because of the long lower wick. So if we go down to the daily chart, it has a wick to the top, which this candle will only be bearish if you get the daily close below this low. But as long as you don't get the daily close below this low, this candle still has a potential to move higher. So how do we play that on the intraday chart? This is it. If price stays above 98.73, it will still move up. But if it closes below 98.73, what you should expect is something like this. You should expect a break, a retest, and then a move lower. So these are the two likely scenarios in this pair. So the next pair we'll be looking at is EURUSD. So we'll go to the EURUSD. We look at it. Well, EURUSD is not looking so nice. It's not looking so happy. But let's go to the intraday. Still the same thing, just like I said last week. This is what you will call the line in the sand, this zone here. That is between 1.1027 to 1.1016. As long as price is above here, there's a tendency to still go. It has a tendency to still rally up. But should price break below and retest this zone and get rejected, then you may see it drop down to either this level or this area here. So that is it for the EURUSD. The next pair looking at is the EURGBP. Looking at the EURGBP from the daily, it closed bullish on Friday. Well, looking at this scenario, you could say this looks like this might look like a harami of a sort or an inside bar. But one thing is certain, it is above a bullish structure. And that was why I said last week, if price does not close below this level, it would not drop further. So if as it is now, there's a tendency it might run up to this place or run up slightly higher. One thing I've known with the EURGBP is, I would say it's a cunning pair. It's a cunning pair. That's why GBP pairs are difficult to trade for newbies. Because if you don't understand this EURGBP, if you're trading GBP, you're looking for trouble. So it might bounce from here. As long as it stays above this zone, it's going to still move back. But if it takes out this zone, then you would see further weakness in the euro and strength in GBPUSD. So the next pair we'll be looking at is GBPUSD itself. Looking at GBPUSD, you see GBPUSD now. This looks like a bearish harami. This looks like a bearish harami. But the storyline now is where price is above. That's 1.2289. It needs to stay above this level to continue moving back up. So how do we trade this intraday? So this is what we have on the intraday chart. If you ask me, as long as it doesn't go below 1.2174, it might still move higher. Because you see this trend line, excuse me, this trend line is running all the way from up here. The trend line is running all the way from up here. You can see price broke it here. So most probably what you might see is a retest down here of the trend line. And if this trend line acts as support, then you might see price move higher. But if they go below 1.2174, then like what I might say, they might drop lower. So that is it. The next pair we'll be looking at is the GBPCHF. So looking at the GBPCHF, almost the same thing. Almost the same thing, but this has broken out of this range. So there's a possibility it might be coming back down to retest it. And if it sets up support, it might move higher. So how do you trade that intraday? Is the same scenario you have here. So this is it. As long as it does not go below 1.2058, it will still move back up. But a close, probably on the 4 hour below this level, and a retest and rejection, then you might see further weakness on this GBPCHF. So the next one we're looking at is the USDJPY. Looking at the USDJPY, one thing with this pair is that it didn't close so remarkably on Friday, but it has cleared this range. You can see. You see this candle here? This big bearish candle. This big bearish candle is what you will call an anchor candle. As you can see, it has held price for, and this daily, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. They were within the body of this candle. So you can see now they've broken it. The question now is, will they stay above here? If they stay above 1.0676, it will move higher. It's going to move higher. But if it goes back below 106.76, then price is going back down. So the next pair we're going to look at is the Euro Yen. So looking at the Euro Yen from a daily point of view, you can see that price is still sitting above here. It's still sitting above here, which points to the fact that it might still move higher. Price is still sitting above here, it might still move higher. So if we're looking at it, as long as price stays above 117.81, it might still move higher. But if it moves back below this level, then you might see it test any of these lower levels here. So that is it for the Euro Yen. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the GBP Pound Yen. So looking at the Pound Yen, and if you look at the Pound Yen, like I said last week, there's something like a double bottom formation. So this formation, most often, whenever you see this formation on a big time frame, when I mean a big time frame, say something like 4 hour up, it means that this move is going to be very big. This is a trap move. What they might just do is they will pull back a bit, but they will not come back down here. The same thing too is visible on the dollar yen. The dollar yen has done its own. You see it spike below. This is a trap move. So now it's most likely it will just only correct down a bit. It's still going to move up. So that's one thing with this pair. So looking at the yen, the deal here is that there's this top channel here. Price may be testing it. But one thing for sure is that price needs to stay above 129.93 for it to continue up. If it goes below here, so this is what you'll be expecting. If it stays above here, then you will see price move back down. But if it comes back here and holds, then you might see it move back down or move back up. But if it pulls back, gets rejected, then this is a scenario we might see price pull down here. But there's one thing, given the formation of the pound yen on the daily, it's most likely it might not come down to now. So what you might just likely do is you take your fib tool, you pull from here, take it to the top here, and just wait and see what happens. So you might be waiting to buy. As you can see, the 38.2 comes in at the low of that zone. So most likely, if they take out here, they might come into here before moving back. So that is it for this pair. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the AUDUSD. This pair has finally started moving. But where he is now, as here, you can see this straight move is cleared this range now. It needs to stay above 68.22 to continue moving up. it needs to stay above it. So if we go now to this chart on the intraday chart, so you see, I have a little problem with some brokers. Like if you look at this broker, it's almost still the same thing. This is a daily time frame. If you look at this setup here, if you look at this setup, well, maybe as at the time the market closed or something. If you look at this setup, it's showing a bit of a rejection here. Or if you look at this setup, it's showing that price really powered above. So now the storyline is this low. This low is the line in the sand. That's just the line in the sand. Price needs to stay above this area to continue up. If it comes back below here, then we might see further down move. But if not, it will continue high. This pair will be clearly bullish when this happens. When this happens, then we know it's going to continue moving up. So the next pair we're going to look at is the EURAUD. So looking at the EURAUD from the daily point of view, bearish. They're pretty bearish. So where it is sitting now is sitting at a structure area. If this area holds, you might see price rally up or drop. But you must bear in mind there's a trend line here. There's a trend line here. The trend line 1, 2. It was tested here, it bounced. So now price is coming down for the fourth touch or the second touch of this trend line. So you need to be aware of this trend line. Price might most likely drop to test this trend line before moving back up. So we need to be aware of that. So the next pair we'll be looking at is GBPAUD. Looking at GBPAUD intraday. Looking at the GBPAUD. So you can see it's got rejected from this area, close bearish on the daily. So how do we interpret that? Where it is now is at a support zone. So this is the storyline here. If it stays above here, you might see something like this, then you move higher. But if it takes out here, then you might see something like this. There's also a trend line here. The trend line is running from the daily, as you can see. So there's a possibility also that price may want to come down and test this trend line. And it's also within this zone before moving back up. So the final pair we'll be looking at is the USDCAD. So looking at the USDCAD, well, the USDCAD is bearish. It has taken out this zone. So now the question is, will this area hold? Because if you look to your left, this area, let me go to the weekly. If I switch to the weekly, it's very, very clear. There has been a bit of range within this space before it broke out. Now the question is, this range top here, that is at 31.43, my data support. So that's just, so what you might likely see here, how do we trade this intraday? It's very simple. So it might come in here. So this is the zone. So it might rally up a bit before dropping back down, but looking at it from the daily, it's most likely coming to test here. And so if it closes on the daily below this 31.43, you need to see it retest it, then we know it is back into the range. If not, it may continue back up. So thank you all for attending today's classes. And as always, remember, this is my social media handles, and registration for the second batch of the 6-week online masterclass is still ongoing. If you would want to be able to learn how to do this, because if you go to my Telegram page, my Instagram page, you will see before and after pictures. It's not you coming every day to listen to me. You should be able to do this yourself. So if you've not availed yourself of the opportunity to register for the 6-week class, I would suggest you do so. As you can see, I have no indicator on my chart. It's just simply plain pure price action. So I thank you all for coming. This video will be on the YouTube channel. You could go there and watch it, and the chart will be posted on the Instagram page. This is the handle for the Instagram page. The handle is a Great White Effect. So once again, I thank you all for coming. and wish you all a beautiful night and a prosperous trading week ahead. Thank you.